This is episode 21 of The White Book by Makavelli, E Pluribus Unum. That track was Don't Call Me by Rakim and DMX. E Pluribus Unum, out of many, one, from many countries, one world order. This is to be the conflict that ushers in the New World Order, George H.W. Bush. The New World Order was also a book by H.G. Wells back in the 30s. This chapter is a strange chapter. It doesn't have any of the characters from all of the other chapters, other than the other chapters reference George H.W. Bush. He's referenced in this chapter as well. The Gulf War conflict is seen as the beginning of the New World Order, although in 1965, in our previous chapter, Indonesia, when the anti-communists defeated the communists there, that was the rise of the New Order. The United States is known as the New World, and thus the New World Order. And the end of the Cold War was 1991. It's generally referred to as 1991, which also then begins this new era. So the characters are King George, George H.W. Bush, King Abdullah, Osama bin Laden, Staff Sergeant Lawrence, female reporter Remus Mira, Lance Corporal Mario Santana, Bobby Davenport, Malcolm Cottle, John Doe, Amir Taki, Abu Sab al-Zarqawi. Saudi Arabia, Nir Daran, Thanksgiving Day. This section satirically characterized the stereotypical types of people in the Marine Corps and the press during the First Gulf War, as well as the propaganda used. It mentioned Youngest in Charge, and I think Youngest in Charge by Special Ed came out in 1989. It's a great album. I'm the Magnificent with the sensational style. Liberty City, just south of Kuwait. The soldiers' Humvee blows up and they're captured by Al-Qaeda and they're held for ransom. The U.S. does not negotiate with terrorists, so they're in a bad situation. The Gulf War depictions seem to be blurred between Gulf War I and Gulf War II, whereas it's supposed to be held in, this chapter is supposed to be held in Gulf War I, but there's a lot of aspects of it that remind me more of Gulf War II. Knights on a Modern-Day Crusade. Makes argument that jihad is the way to remain free from the mark of the beast and away from the talons of the New World Order. The soldiers were going to be beheaded, but were spared because they had what we assume to be Tupacalypse Now by Tupac. After they were spared, they had caught, and it helped everyone understand each other's language or message. They kind of had like a powwow or a group talk. Al-Zarqawi lets them go. And I could have sworn I've seen a movie with the same exact plot for this chapter, but I can't recall it. And Al-Zarqawi is a real-life person. He's dead now, but he was one of the top terrorists. The Mystery Artist. He was called a poet, prophet, revolutionary, warrior, all combined into one. And the name of the tape was Never Ignorant, Getting Goals Accomplished. Well, the acronym for that was on there, but I ain't going there. But you know who the mystery artist is based on that description. Holy War Inc., Nizari Ismailis, North Africa, Hamas, PLO, Palestinian Liberation Organization, Palestine, Taliban, Afghanistan, Hezbollah, Lebanon, HUM, Pakistan. New World Order Inc., American bankers, oil barons, secret police, World Trade Association, wicked Zionists, the Brotherhood of Death, Skull and Bones, Knights Templar, Roman legions, Masons, destabilizing Islamic nations, the British East India Company, the Order, Old Englanders, New England, American aristocracy, slave trading, opium smuggling, black nobility, Queen, NATO, Rome, Dan Quayle, Al Gore, John Forbes Carey, Prescott Sheldon Bush, George Herbert Walker Bush, George Walker Bush, the Pierces, the Windsors, Dulles, Rockefellers, Fords, DuPonts, IG Farben, Fritz Thyssen Union Bank, Corporation UBC, Adolf Hitler and his SS. References: M2 Bradley, GI Student Loans, The Art of War, Stockholm Syndrome, Escape from New York, The Mujahideen, Apocalypse Now, Exxon, Geronimo, Sarin Gas, Khaki, Redwater, could be a reference to Blackwater, Holly Barton, probably a reference to Halliburton. Arab words. I don't know if using Arab is incorrect in present day or politically incorrect. I apologize. But Arab words, madrasas, fatwa, khalifa, shadaz, hadiths, Beit al-Salam, mafrij, nanawati, which is asylum, Jambiya, Kif, Kot, Jahiliya, Shura, Khalifa, I guess that's in there twice, Ilm, Bayat. Some neat little tidbits. Jesus was crucified in the place of the skulls, which was interesting to me because I thought the book was suggesting that Jesus was a mason because he studied the craft and was a carpenter. Or it could mean that he is still, and that the crucifixion was a rite of passage. One trouser leg raised means that they're one leg up on you. And I think in '89, Half Pint came out with a song called One Leg Up. And LL Cool J in the music video for How I'm Coming, I remember he had like one leg up. And I remember it was a big deal at the time and I didn't understand. And it actually became like a trend, like a trend. People used to put one leg up. I thought the name of the album, 14 Shots to the Dome, was just so awesome. Bonesmen set their timepieces 5 minutes ahead to demonstrate superiority. I don't know if you have anybody you work with that prides themselves in getting to work before everybody else. The early bird gets the worm. Skull and Bones, yada yada. Ivy League, Yale, CIA establishment recruitment place. Alfonso Taft, one of the founders of the order. He's the father of President Taft. I forgot his first name. General William Huntington Russell founded Chapter 322. Usually you'll see the Skull and Bones with the 322 sign on it. And Tim Russert asked John Kerry and George W. Bush about Skull and Bones 322. Tim Russert shortly thereafter was found dead. Described alleged rituals. The tomb. Connubial bliss. Yorick. I didn't get too much into all the rituals and whatnot because there's a lot of it out there already in conspiracy theory. Same with conspiracy theories on the Iraq wars, both 1 and 2. So you could form your own position. There's tons of documentaries. And as far as the rituals, hey, every religion and every organization has their own rituals. So, whatever the Skull and Bones do, that's their ritual, If they're ruling your life, yeah, that sucks. If we're hating on them because they're successful, I'm not cool with that. That's sour grapes psychology. So I'm not hating on the guy with the fly rod with the dope rims. I'm not hating on the guy that got to number 1. I'm not hating on Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, the New England Patriots, just to be a hater, or the Skull and Bones. If they're running your life, though, yeah, that sucks. The Boston Brahmin, the Bundys, the Davisons, J.P. Morgan, the Gilmans, the Harrimans, railroads, the Lords of Cambridge, the Paynes, known for Standard Oil, the Perkins, the Pillsburys, the Doughboy, the Rockefellers, Standard Oil and Exxon, the Sloans, big in retail, the Tafts, the Wadsworths, the Weyerhausers, big in lumber, the Whitneys. These are the powerful families of the Northeast. Hussein. Bush and Hussein were doing arms deals for years. The Iran-Iraq War and all the other conflicts over there. Bank of Credit and Commerce International, BCCI. Banca Nacional del Lavoro, BNL. Again, there's a lot of finger pointing at the Bushes and America and whatnot, but then at the same time, if you're hyping hip hop and rap like gangster rap, they talk about running up in your spot, taking your stuff. Well, Iraq War 1 and 2, Afghanistan, talking about riding on your enemies. We rode on our enemies. And so just like in last chapter, I said we celebrate the Founding Father revolutionaries, but not the Black Panthers. In present day, you could flip that, reverse that. We celebrate Tupac saying West Side, but at the same time get mad at George Bush for saying you're either for us or against us. So I'm all about consistency. I don't care what the ideology is. I just want everything to be consistent. So if we love when Tupac says F the world, but we're not okay when the military says F the world, it's not consistent. That's all I'm saying. Just be consistent. ride or die, then you got to be down with ride or die on for everything. If you're going to bump Rick Ross, Port of Miami, importing the candy, but at the same time hating the CIA's international drug smuggling, it's not consistent. If you're bumping any rap that talks about selling drugs, and that's cool, but at the same time you're not cool with CIA doing it, not consistent. Saudi Arabia, near Dhahran, Thanksgiving Day. So now we're back to where we started. And it's kind of like near the end of the propaganda piece that they're filming. The corporal is kicking conspiracy theory to the camera, kind of like Neo at the end of The Matrix when he said, "I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to know. A world without you." All right, see you in 1991. There's PowerPoints for all episodes are available in the description below. This video might have seemed short, but it's already 11 and a half minutes long. And I feel like I breezed right through the material. And further, there's just so much information on Iraq War 1 and 2 for both sides. You've lived through it, so I don't need to really get in depth on that. There's so many conspiracy theory films on this topic if you're really interested in digging deeper. But we're already way past the 10-minute mark that I'm shooting for. So anyway, I'll see you guys in 1991.